Cyber who? Come on now. It's about that Rivian life. Welcome to the Cobra Pit, whether you're a long-time viewer or a new subscriber. I appreciate every single one of you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Now, I'm not saying that the Rivian R1T is overall better than the Cybertruck, right? I'm not saying I made a mistake. They do have some things that are better than the Cybertruck. At this point, today, as of right now, they got some things that are better. The first thing is the availability. You don't have to wait all day. Should I get a Cybertruck or should I get a Rivian R1T? You can get a Rivian R1T within the week. If you order a Cybertruck today, you're gonna be waiting. Unless you're gonna buy it second hand and you get it right away for like $120, right? Around that. But if you want a Rivian R1T, it's a week away. My buddy ordered a R1S and he got it within 4 weeks, right? But that's not years. So get your truck now. The second thing is the price. Now, Rivians are expensive trucks, but not $100K. But a dual motor Rivian to a dual motor Cybertruck is less expensive. Now, when we talk about price, you can even save money by getting a used one. You get a used Cybertruck, it's more expensive than a new one because you don't have to wait. So you can get a used Rivian R1T, and actually the best way, because you don't want to just roll the dice on used vehicles, especially used EVs. You should do like my brother did, and he used the Recurrent battery report before he bought his Tesla Model 3, because the battery of an EV is the most important and expensive part of it. So you want to make sure that it's in good standing, and Recurrent does that. So when you're buying a used vehicle, you want to go ahead and make sure it has a Recurrent battery report. If you have an EV, you can monitor your battery health. I've done that with every single one of my EVs. It tells you the estimated range. It tells you the estimated range down the line. If you end up selling your EV, you should know how healthy your battery is, and so should the buyer. It helped me sell my Model 3 for thousands more than other places offered me. And the best part, it was easy too. But even if you don't plan on selling, you'll know how healthy your battery is and how to keep it that way. Links to Recurrent in the description. And the third thing is the Rivian is more refined. The Cybertruck is having some early adopter woes. It's still newer. They're gonna add different things. The R1T has already been refreshed, right? They fine-tuned it. It runs a lot more smoothly. They've added different things and they've worked out a lot of the kinks. So you're coming in with a car that's been on the market a little bit longer, so it definitely has a head start on the Cybertruck. Number 4, depending on how you feel about this, you'll get less attention. Cybertruck, you get crazy amount of attention still to this day. Had it for 4 months. It has died down, but people are constantly looking. People are still taking pictures. I'm sitting in my truck parked, people are walking up to it, looking in it. Rivian R1T, you have lookers, right? But it's not as wild, it's not as crazy because it looks like a traditional truck, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It is still a beautiful looking truck, but you won't have eyes on you at all times, right? You want to pick your nose real quick. Chances are less people be staring at you pick your nose in a Rivian than in a Cybertruck. And with that look of a more traditional truck, it drives like that too. Well, it drives like an EV, but more like a traditional EV, not the steer-by-wire and four-wheel steering of the Cybertruck. So you can hop into a Rivian and feel comfortable right away driving it. I did it, and it drives nicely. I have fun driving the R1T. I do feel the road, and I kind of like that, right? It gives it a little bit more of a rugged, adventurous feel, and that's the theme they're going for. You can hop in this and you won't have the learning curve that you will with a Cybertruck, so that's definitely a benefit. One thing that Rivian knocked out of the park, the storage. It has a huge amount of storage. The frunk is way larger than the Cybertruck. And of course, you know, I gotta talk about that gear tunnel. I mean, that's cool to have. I had it for 3 days. I didn't even use the gear tunnel, but I can see myself using it if I owned it. And yes, the bed is smaller, but I'm talking about just storage space to put things. They thought about little things like the speaker and the flashlight, right? And it's stowed away. So that's the stuff I'm talking about. There's more places to put things, which is cool. So if you're going camping, like the Adventure Focus wants you to, it was more thoughtful about where things can go. The next one is when you are going somewhere, not only does Rivian has access to so many charging stations out there, it also has access to the Tesla supercharger. So you can call this a draw if you want to, but just the versatility of being able to charge anywhere easily, because on the screen you could type in charging, you have them all there at your disposal. With Tesla, of course, it defaults to superchargers, and there's nothing wrong with that because they're all over the place and they're great, right? But just having an option to use anyone, anytime, and it shows you on the screen. Now, some of these charging stations, you know, the EVgo's and Electrify Americas are pretty garbage, right? Some of them show up and they don't work. But just having so many at your disposal on your screen is definitely a benefit. Speaking of that bed, another pro is they actually have a place where you can stow a full-size spare. Now, with the Cybertruck, you have to put it in the bed. And again, you know, you may not use your bed every day, but what if you do, right? What if you do need to use it and you don't have your spare on you? With the Rivian R1T, it's stowed away under here. Now the R1T I had did not have a full-size spare there, but it could go here, and I'll feel a little more comfortable going off-roading and things like that, or traveling longer distances in remote areas where the roadside will have a hard time getting there. I've changed car tires my whole life, and it's nice to have a spare there, so I don't know. The next one is the R1T has better visibility in the cabin. The Tesla Cybertruck has these huge A-pillars, and when you're slightly turning left, it's kind of hard to see. You got to move your head around, right? There's, you know, more blind spots. You have to look a little harder. The R1T is wide open. I felt so free in there. I can see everything around me. I love the camera it has above the bed. So if the tailgate is down, I can still see in the rear, right, behind me. In the Cybertruck, if your tailgate is down, because there's one camera on the tailgate, if it's down, you're seeing a road, right? You're seeing the ground. And if you have something in your bed, you can't see behind you anyway. Yeah, a lot of trucks, if you have things in your bed, you can't use your rear view mirror anyway. But it's just they thought about this, right? Rivian thought about all these things. So just the visibility when driving is top notch. And lastly, being a part of something different, like the Rivian community felt like how Tesla felt way back when I first got mine. It was like a smaller community. It was growing, but you felt a little a part of something, right? Nowadays, there's so many Teslas out there, and now we kind of have a bad reputation for some reason. We used to go to the superchargers and hop out and chop it up, talk about different things. We used to always wave at each other. That's how it is when I drove this Rivian. We saw another one, you know, we said, "What's up?" You know what I mean? It was cool. It was funny because my wife was behind me in the Cybertruck, and I was in the R1T, and I pulled up next to R1S, and I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "What's up?" And I pointed behind me, and I was like, to the Cybertruck. He was like, "Yeah." So it was funny. It was cool, man. But just being a part of a newer community, it feels tightly knit. Of course, you go on Reddit, you go on the forums, and it just feels that vibe that Tesla had originally. So it's something different, something unique. If you don't want to wait for a Cybertruck, or you want something a little more traditional, you might want to get that R1T. Hey, don't forget, Cobra told you. All right, y'all.